My uncle worked airport night shifts for 32 years. He never missed a shift. Not once. When he died, they found him in Terminal C, sitting in his chair, eyes open, staring at the tarmac. The coroner said natural causes, heart failure, but I saw his logbook. I read the last entry. Full moon tonight. Zone 4 is glowing red again. I can hear them calling my name. I think tonight I will answer. 3 days after the funeral, the airport called me. They said I was listed as his successor. I didn't understand. Successor for what? I asked. The night observer position. Your uncle specified you in his contract. It's a hereditary clause. I tried to refuse. They told me the contract was binding. Family obligation. Legal requirement. I could fight it in court, they said, but that would take years. And the airport needed someone now. They offered triple the normal pay. Night differential. Hazard compensation. I was between jobs. Rent was due. I said yes. I wish I hadn't. The training was one night. A supervisor named Martinez met me at the employee entrance. She was maybe 50. Hard eyes. I looked tired. You read his logbook? She asked. I nodded. Good. Then you know this isn't a normal security job. She handed me a binder. Black 3-ring. Laminated pages. Night Observer Protocols. The cover read, read this before your shift starts. Follow every rule exactly. No exceptions. What happens if I don't? She looked at me for a long moment. Your uncle followed them for 32 years. He died the first night he didn't. She walked away, left me standing there, holding the binder, holding my future. I opened the binder in my car. The first page was handwritten. My uncle's handwriting. To whoever comes after me, these rules exist because airport boundaries are thin, especially at night, especially during full moons. The jet blast zones where the engine's exhaust hits the ground, they're thinner still. Something about the heat, the fuel residue, the constant violence of departure. The lost spirits gather there. Lost spirits, travelers who never left, passengers who missed their final flight. Your job is to observe them, to witness them, to make sure they don't cross into the terminal. Follow the rules. Keep the lights in your control. Never answer when they call your name. I'm sorry you have to do this now, but someone has to watch. Good luck. Uncle Ray. My hands shook reading it. This was insane. Ghosts at an airport? Lost spirits in jet blast zones? I almost drove away. But I thought about my uncle. 32 years. Never missed a shift. Never complained. If he could do it, maybe I could too. Just for a little while. Just until I found something else. The rules started on page 2. Simple. Direct. Terrifying. Rule 1. Your shift begins at 11 p.m. and ends at 6 a.m. You must be at Observation Post Delta, Terminal C, Gate 47, by 10:45 p.m. to prepare. Rule 2. Observation Post Delta has manual light controls for jet blast zones 1 to 6. These lights are your primary tool. Use them wisely. Rule 3. During your shift, walk the perimeter of jet blast zones 1 to 6 every hour. Record what you observe in the logbook. Use exact times. Rule 4. If you see figures in the jet blast zones, do not approach them. Turn on the zone lights. Count to 10. Turn the lights off. If the figures remain, they are airport personnel. If they vanish, they are entities. Rule 5. The lost spirits will call out to you. They will use names. Sometimes your name. Sometimes names of people you love. Never answer. Never acknowledge that you heard them. Rule 6. On full moon nights, Jet Blast Zone 4 will glow red between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. Do not enter Zone 4 during this time. Do not look directly at the red glow for more than 3 seconds. Rule 7. If an entity appears inside the terminal, use the intercom code "Cleanup on Concourse C." Security will know what to do. Do not attempt to interact with them yourself. Rule 8. Some lost spirits will appear almost human. They will have luggage, boarding passes, worried expressions. The only way to identify them, their boarding passes will have dates from the past. Check discreetly if possible. If confirmed, guide them gently back toward the blast zones with the phrase, "Your gate is outside. Follow the red lights." Rule 9. Keep the observation logbook current. If something happens to you, the next observer needs to know what they're walking into. Rule 10. Never, under any circumstances, tell anyone outside the airport what you witness. The lost spirits can hear when you speak about them. They will find you. I read the rules 3 times. Memorized them. I tried to convince myself this was just airport superstition. Security theater. But my uncle's last logbook entry kept replaying in my mind. I think tonight I will answer. He broke Rule 5, and he died. I arrived at 10:30 p.m. The airport was quiet. A few red-eye flights, scattered passengers, cleaning crews. Terminal C felt empty. Gate 47 was at the far end. Past the food courts, past the bookstores, past everything. Just an observation room with a desk, a chair, 6 light switches labeled Zone 1 through Zone 6, and a window overlooking the tarmac. The logbook sat on the desk. Uncle Ray's handwriting filled hundreds of pages. I flipped to the last entry, the one from the night he died. 11:47 p.m., full moon. Zone 4 showing early red glow. Unusual. 12:33 a.m. Figure in Zone 2. Female. 20s. Carrying a rolling suitcase. Tested with lights. She vanished. Entity confirmed. 1:15 a.m. Same figure returned. Closer to the terminal this time. Called my name. Raymond. Raymond. Please help me. Did not answer. 2:08 a.m. Zone 4 glow intensifying. Can see shapes moving inside the red light. More than usual. 2:44 a.m. The figure from Zone 2 is outside the window now. She knows my name. She knows my daughter's name. She's begging me to let her in. 3:17 a.m. I think I know her. I think she was on flight 1842, the one that crashed in 2007. I was working that night. I watched that plane take off. I heard about the crash on the news the next morning. 3:52 a.m. She's still here. Still calling my name. I'm so tired. 32 years of this. I just want to help her. 4:28 a.m. I'm going outside. Just to talk to her. Just to see if she's real. That was the last entry. They found him at 6:15 a.m. in his chair. Dead. The window was open. My first shift was uneventful until 12:19 a.m. I'd done my first perimeter walk. All zones empty. No figures. No voices. I sat at the desk. I started my own logbook entry. Then I saw her. Zone 2. A woman. Maybe 25. Dark hair in a ponytail. Business casual clothes. Rolling a small black suitcase behind her. She walked across the blast zone like she was heading to a gate. Purposeful. Normal. But it was 12:19 a.m. No flights were boarding. And she was walking across the tarmac. I checked Rule 4. If you see figures in the jet blast zones, do not approach them. Turn on the zone lights. Count to 10. Turn the lights off. I flipped the switch for Zone 2. Bright white lights flooded the area. The woman stopped. I looked around, confused. I counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I turned the lights off. She was gone. Entity confirmed. My heart pounded. I wrote in the logbook with shaking hands. 12:19 a.m. Figure in Zone 2. Female, mid-20s, dark hair, business attire, rolling suitcase. Light test performed. Entity vanished. Entity confirmed. I stared at the empty blast zone. This was real. My uncle wasn't crazy. The lost spirits were real. 1 a.m. perimeter walk. I walked slowly, checking each zone.
Zone 1, 2, 3 anti.
Zone 4 looked normal. No red glow yet. The full moon wasn't until next week. Zones 5 and 6, empty. I returned to the observation post. Sat down. Made my log entry. 1:07 a.m. Perimeter check complete. All zones are clear. No anomalies. Then I heard the voice. Faint. Outside the window. Hello. I froze. Hello? Can you help me? A woman's voice. Young. Scared. I looked out the window. She was there. The same woman from Zone 2. Standing just outside the glass. Her face pressed close. Breath fogging the window. Except lost spirits don't breathe. Please, she said. I'm lost. I don't know where my gate is. I remembered Rule 5. Never answer. Never acknowledge that you heard them. I looked down at my logbook. I started writing. I can see you, she said. You're right there. Please, I just need help. I kept writing. Hand trembling. My flight leaves soon. Can't miss it. Please. I didn't look up. Why won't you help me? Her voice cracked. Real emotion. Real fear. I wanted to answer. Wanted to help. But Rule 5 was absolute. Fine, she whispered. Then silence. I waited 30 seconds. Looked up. She was gone. I exhaled slowly. Wrote in the logbook. 1:14 a.m. Lost spirit from Zone 2 appeared at the observation window. Female voice. Requested assistance. Did not respond per Rule 5. Entity departed. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. 2 a.m. perimeter check. I walked the zones again. Everything is quiet. Zone 4 is still normal. No red glow. Back at the post, I made coffee. The break room had a pot. Old and stained. But it worked. I poured a cup. Black. Strong. Sat back at the desk. That's when I saw him. Zone 5. A man. 50s. Gray suit. Briefcase. Standing perfectly still. facing the terminal. I grabbed the Zone 5 light switch, flipped it on. He didn't move, didn't react.
He counted to 10.
Turned the lights off. He was still there. Not a lost spirits, airport personnel. But what was he doing out there at 2 a.m.? I grabbed the radio. Security, this is the night observer. I have a person in Jet Blast Zone 5. Can you verify if this is authorized personnel? Static. Then copy observer. Checking now. I watched the man. He didn't move. Just stood there, staring at the terminal. At my window. At me. The radio crackled. Observer, we have no personnel authorized for tarmac access at this time.
Repeat, no authorized personnel.
My stomach dropped. I hit the Zone 5 lights again. The man smiled. A slow, wrong smile.
He counted to 10.
Turned the lights off. He was closer now. Halfway to the terminal. How? He'd moved in the dark. While the lights were off, I flipped them back on. He stopped, still smiling. I left them on, grabbed the logbook, checked the rules again. Then I saw it. A note in the margin. My uncle's handwriting. If a lost spirit remains visible after the light test, it means they're anchored to something physical. Look for their tether. Usually luggage, documents, or personal items. If you can see their boarding pass, check the date. I looked at the man through the window. He was maybe 20 feet away now, still smiling. I could see his briefcase clearly. Expensive leather, monogrammed, and tucked into his suit pocket a boarding pass. I grabbed the binoculars from the desk drawer, focused on the pass. The date was visible, September 10th, 2001. My blood ran cold. 25 years ago, the day before September 11th. Your gate is outside, I called through the glass. Follow the red lights. Rule 8, the phrase for guiding lost spirits back. The man's smile faded. He looked confused. My gate, he said. His voice carried through the glass. Thin, distant. Yes, I said. Follow the red lights to your departure gate. I didn't know if there were red lights, but I said it anyway. The man looked around. I saw something I couldn't see. Nodded slowly. Thank you, he said. Then he turned. Walked back into Zone 5. Faded into the darkness. Gone. I collapsed into the chair. Wrote in the logbook with shaking hands. 2:18 a.m. Lost spirits in Zone 5. Male 50s business attire. Failed light test initially but responded to Protocol 8 phrase. Boarding pass dated September 10th, 2001. The entity departed peacefully. I added a note. Pre-9/11 passenger. Possibly waiting for a flight that never came. I sat in silence, staring at the empty tarmac. These weren't monsters. They were people. Lost people. Waiting for flights. Waiting to go home. Waiting for something that would never come. The next week passed slowly. I saw lost spirits every night. Different people. Different zones. Always the same pattern. Light test. They vanish. Sometimes they came to the window. Sometimes they called my name. I never answered. I followed the rules. I stayed safe. But I was getting tired. Exhausted. The job wore on me. Not physically. Mentally. Emotionally. Watching these lost spirits every night. Unable to help them. Unable to do anything but observe. Then came the full moon. I arrived at 10:30 p.m. as usual. The moon was huge, bright, hanging low over the runways. Martinez was waiting at the observation post. "You read about tonight?" she asked. "Rule 6, I said. "Zone 4 glows red between 2 and 3 a.m. She nodded. "Don't look at it for more than 3 seconds. Don't enter the zone, no matter what you see or hear." "What happens if I do?" She looked at me with those hard, tired eyes. "Your uncle looked for 4 seconds once. He told me he saw his dead wife. She was calling him to come home. He almost went. It took him 3 days to recover." "Recover from what?" "The pull. The lost spirits in Zone 4 during full moons, they're different. Stronger. More desperate. They'll show you things. People you've lost. People you love. They'll make you want to join them." She left. I sat alone, waiting for 2 a.m. Midnight came and went. 1 a.m. perimeter check. Normal. A few lost spirits in zones 2 and 3. Light tests. They vanished. Routine. Back at the post, I watched the clock.
1:47 a.m. 1:52 a.m. 1:58 a.m. 2 a.m.
Zone 4 began to glow. Not bright, not suddenly. Gradual. A deep red light, like coals in a fire. Pulsing. Growing. I looked away after 2 seconds. Wrote in the logbook. 2 a.m., full moon. Zone 4 red glow beginning as expected per Rule 6. The glow intensified. I could see it in my peripheral vision. Bright red. Rhythmic. Like breathing. Then I heard the voices. Many voices. Overlapping. Calling. Pleading. I kept my eyes on the logbook. "Help us. Please. We just want to go home. Let us in. We're so cold. We've been waiting so long." I gripped my pen, focused on writing, on anything but the voices. Then I heard a voice I recognized. "Hey, kiddo." My breath stopped. My dad. My dad's voice. He died 6 years ago. Heart attack. I was holding his hand when it happened. "Kiddo, I'm out here. Can you see me?" I kept my eyes on the logbook. "Don't look." Rule 6. I've been trying to get home. I've been stuck here. Please just look at me. Just for a second. Tears ran down my face. "I miss you, kiddo. I miss you so much. Your mom misses you too. She's here with me. We just want to see you. My mom died 2 years ago. Cancer. Don't you want to see us?" I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But I remembered Martinez's warning. The pull. I forced myself to keep writing. Random words. Anything. "You were always such a good kid. Always helped people. Why won't you help us now?" The red glow was so bright now I could see it with my eyes closed. Just one look. 3 seconds. That's all we need. 3 seconds. Rule 6 said don't look for more than 3 seconds. Maybe I could. Just a glance. Just to see them. My hand moved toward the window. To turn. To look. Then I saw my uncle's note in the margin. "They'll use everyone you love. Everyone you've lost. It's not real. It's what you want to see. Don't look. Don't listen. Wait for 3 a.m. I pulled my hand back, covered my ears, hummed loudly, anything to block the voices. The minutes crawled by.
2:47 a.m. 2:53 a.m. 2:58 a.m. 3 a.m.
The red glow faded. Suddenly, complete. The voices stopped. Silence. I uncovered my ears. I looked at Zone 4. Dark. Empty. Normal. I wrote in the logbook. 3 a.m. Zone 4 red glow ended. Multiple lost spirit voices during the event. Did not look. Did not respond. Followed Rule 6. Then I added. They used my parents' voices. Sounded real. Felt real. But it wasn't them. Uncle Ray was right. Don't look. Ever. I sat in the dark, crying silently, for my parents, for the lost spirits, for everyone lost and waiting. 3 weeks into the job, I settled into a routine. Arrive at 10:30. Prepare. Perimeter checks every hour. Light tests. Logbook entries. Ignore the voices. Never look at Zone 4 during full moons. Follow the rules. Stay safe. But tonight felt different. The air was heavy, humid. A storm was coming. I did my 1 a.m. perimeter check. Zones 1, 2, 3 clear. Zone 4 clear. Zone 5 clear. Zone 6 I stopped. A child, maybe 7 years old. Little girl, yellow dress, holding a stuffed rabbit, standing in the middle of the blast zone. She was crying. I could see tears on her face. My heart broke. This was a child, a lost child. I reached for the Zone 6 light switch, hesitated. What if she was real? What if she was actually lost? A passenger's kid who wandered outside? I grabbed the radio. Security, this is the observer. I have a possible child in Zone 6. Can you verify if we have any reports of missing children? Static. Negative observer. No reports. I flipped the Zone 6 lights on. The girl looked up, squinting in the brightness. She looked so real, so human.
I counted to 10.
Turned the lights off. She was still there. Not a lost spirit, but the light test wasn't definitive with children. The notes in the logbook said lost spirit children sometimes resisted the test. Something about innocence. I grabbed the binoculars. I looked closer. The girl was crying. Lost. Scared. Then I saw it. Her stuffed rabbit. It had a luggage tag. I focused on the tag. Flight 447. June 1st, 2009. 15 years ago. My chest tightened. She lost spirit. But she was a child. Lost and scared. I remembered Rule 8. Guide them gently back toward the blast zones. I opened the window. Hey, sweetheart, I called. She looked up. Are you looking for your gate? She nodded, wiping tears. My mommy said to wait by gate 12, but I can't find it. Your gate is outside, I said gently. Follow the red lights. Your mommy is waiting there. She looked around. I don't see any red lights. They're there, I said. You just have to walk that way. I pointed toward the far end of Zone 6, away from the terminal. She hesitated. Will my mommy be there? God, this hurts. Yes, I lied. She's waiting for you. The girl hugged her rabbit tighter. Promise. I promise. She nodded. I started walking. Small steps. Uncertain. Then she stopped. Turned back. Thank you, mister. You're welcome, sweetheart. She walked into the darkness. Faded. Gone. I closed the window. Sat down heavily. wrote in the logbook through tears. 1:27 a.m., lost spirit child in Zone 6. Female, approximately 7 years old. Flight 447, June 2009. Guided back using Rule 8. The entity departed peacefully. I added a note. She was just a kid, lost and looking for her mom. This job is breaking my heart. I understood why my uncle did this for 32 years. Someone had to witness them. Someone had to guide them. Even if it hurts, even if it broke you, someone had to care. 2 months in, I'd seen dozens of lost spirits. Passengers, crew members, children, elderly travelers, people from crashes, people from heart attacks, people who just never made it home. Every night I watched them. Every night I guided them back. Every night I wrote their stories in the logbook. And every night a piece of me stayed with them. I was exhausted, not physically, spiritually. This job hollowed you out, made you a witness to endless loss, endless grief. Martinez noticed. "You're losing weight," she said one night. "I'm fine." Your uncle said the same thing. You're 30. He was fine, right up until he wasn't. "I'm not my uncle." "No," she agreed. "You're younger. It might break you faster." She left me alone. I sat at the observation post. Another night, another shift, another chance to see people who couldn't move on.
3 Uhr a.m.
I was writing in the logbook when I heard the knock. Not outside, inside. Someone knocked on the observation post door. I froze. We were in the terminal. Lost spirits weren't supposed to get inside. Rule 7 said if they did, call for cleanup. But I hadn't seen anyone come in. Another knock. "Hello." A man's voice. "Is anyone there?" I checked the window. All zones empty. The door knocked again. "Please, I need help. I'm lost." I stood slowly. I walked to the door. Didn't open it. "Sir, where are you trying to go?" I asked through the door.
Gate 47.
"I have a flight, but I can't find it."
Gate 47.
My gate. The observation post. "Sir, what's your flight number?" Silence. "Sir, I don't remember." "What's your name?" Longer silence. "I don't remember that either." I closed my eyes, checked the protocol. He was inside the terminal. Lost, confused, a lost spirit. I grabbed the intercom, pressed the button. "Clean up on Concourse C." The man outside the door gasped.
No.
"No, please. Don't send me back. I just want to go home." "I'm sorry," I said quietly. "Please. I have a family. I need to get home to them. You can't stay here." "Why not? Why can't I just stay?" "Because you're dead," I thought. "Because this isn't your home anymore. Because you're lost and you need to move on." But I didn't say any of that. I just waited. Footsteps in the concourse. Security arriving. They had their own protocols, their own ways of handling lost spirits inside the terminal. I'd never asked what they did. I didn't want to know. The man outside my door started crying. "Please, please don't make me go."
"I'm sorry," he whispered.
The security team arrived. Low voices, calm tones, then silence. A knock on my door. All clear, observer. I opened the door. The hallway was empty. No security team. No lost man. just an empty corridor and fluorescent lights. I wrote in the logbook, 3:17 a.m., lost spirit inside the terminal. Male voice, disoriented, unable to recall flight number or name. Cleanup protocol initiated. Entity removed. I stared at the entry. This was my job. Witnessing, recording, sending them away, night after night, forever. I understood now why my uncle answered, why he broke Rule 5. After 32 years of this, after thousands of lost souls, after decades of sending people back into the dark, he just wanted to help someone, just once, even if it killed him. My shift ended at 6 a.m. Sunrise came, golden light across the tarmac. The lost spirits faded with the darkness. They always did. Daylight didn't hold them. Only at night. Only the hours between midnight and dawn. I closed the logbook, turned off all the zone lights, locked the observation post. I walked to my car. The morning shift workers were arriving, happy, caffeinated, ready for normal days. They didn't know. I would never know. The airport had two faces. Day normal, busy, alive. Night, thin, haunted, liminal. I drove home, slept until 3 p.m., woke to my alarm, ate, showered, drove back to the airport. 10:30 p.m., another shift, another night. I checked the lunar calendar on my phone. Full moon in 3 days. Zone 4 would glow red. The voices would come. They'd use my parents again. Maybe other people I've lost. They'd beg, plead, promise me anything if I'd just look. I'd have to resist. Follow Rule 6. Stay safe. Stay sane. I sat at the observation post. I opened the logbook, checked the protocols, the rules, prepared for another night of witnessing, of loss, of grief. Martinez stopped by at 11 p.m. You okay? She asked. No, I said honestly. She nodded. Your uncle wasn't either. Not for 30 years. But he kept coming back. I kept watching. Someone has to. Why? Because they need to be seen. The lost spirits. They need someone to witness them, to acknowledge they existed. Without that, she trailed off. Without that, what? They fade completely, not to peace, to nothing. The observation keeps them from that, gives them a chance to move on properly. So I'm not just watching. I'm helping them, in a way, a hard way. But yes, she left. I sat alone, thinking. My uncle watched for 32 years, saw thousands of lost souls, gave them his attention, his witness, his acknowledgement that they mattered, that they existed, that they were worth remembering. Even if it broke him, even if it killed him, he did it, because someone had to, and now it was my turn. Midnight came. The lost spirits began to appear. Zone 2, a woman with a suitcase. Zone 5, a businessman. Zone 3, an elderly man. I tested them with lights. They vanished, returned, called me. I ignored them, wrote in the logbook, follow the rules, stayed safe. At 2:47 a.m., I saw something new. Zone 1, a figure standing at the edge, not moving, just watching the terminal, watching my window, watching me. I grabbed the binoculars, focused. My uncle, Uncle Ray, standing in the blast zone, wearing his old security uniform, looking tired, looking sad, looking at me. My hands shook. I reached for the Zone 1 light switch. Stopped. I knew what would happen. Light test. He'd vanish. But I had to know. I flipped the switch. Lights flooded Zone 1. Uncle Ray stood there. Solid. Real.
He counted to 10.
Turned the lights off. He was gone. Lost spirits. My uncle was one of them now. I wrote in the logbook, 2:47 a.m., lost spirit in Zone 1, identified as former night observer Raymond Torres. Light test performed. Entity vanished. Then I added, Uncle Ray, if you can read this somehow, thank you for 32 years of service. Thank you for teaching me the rules. Thank you for showing me how to care for the lost. I'll keep watching. Promise. Rest now. I sat back, tears streaming, understanding finally. This was the job. You watched until you became what you were watching. You witnessed until you needed witnessing. You cared for the lost until you became lost yourself. My uncle knew. He'd always known. And he did it anyway, because someone had to, because the lost spirit needed someone, because the living never saw them, never acknowledged them, never cared. But the night observer did. We saw them, we witnessed them, we remembered, even when it hurts, even when it broke us, even when it killed us. We watched. My shift ended at 6 a.m. Sunrise, golden light. The lost spirits faded, including my uncle. I locked up, drove home, slept. But this time I didn't dream of escape, didn't dream of quitting, didn't dream of normal life. I dreamed of the observation post, of the logbook, of the lost spirits waiting in the blast zones. And I knew this was my life now, for however long it lasted, maybe years, maybe decades, maybe just until the next full moon when I'd look too long at Zone 4. But however long I had, I would watch, I would witness, I would remember them, the lost souls of the airport, the passengers who never arrived. The travelers are stuck between departure and destination. The lost spirits, because someone has to see them, someone has to care. And tonight, tomorrow night, and every night after, that someone is me, the night observer, watching the thin places, guiding the lost, following the rules, until the day I don't. Until the day I become what I watch. But that day isn't today. Today I rested. Tonight I return. And the watching continues. Night observer on duty. 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. Rules followed. 10 out of 10. Lost spirits observed. 7 lost spirits guided back. 7 status. Operational next shift. Tonight. Note to future observers. The job never gets easier. But it matters. They need us. Keep watching. Keep caring. Follow the rules. And when your time comes, when you become one of them, know that the next observer will witness you too. You won't be forgotten. Promise.